So, I mean, my symptoms, I was very, very kind of wiped out, essentially. I had a lot of fatigue, body aches, the first thing that you're asked to do is to phone the NHS 111 number here in the UK. Once I got through to them, I eventually got through to a doctor who went through my symptoms in detail and said that I needed to really self-isolate. So there was no way of me getting a test done at hospital when the advice was to stay at home and isolate and keep away from anyone in my house or outside, essentially.
So my understanding is a conclusion of that conversation you had on the phone was that it was very likely that you had the new coronavirus.
Yes, yeah. The symptoms were I felt very wiped out, body aches everywhere, colds and shivers, really intense headaches that kind of overtook my whole body, chest pains, and then eventually fevers, which kind of occurred on a daily basis for up to 10 days. It was a very, very intense, painful illness and something I've never experienced before.
And lots of us anecdotally know people who've come down with symptoms like yourself, but haven't been able to have that confirmation from a test. Having sort of self-diagnosed yourself with the help of this doctor of having the virus, have you been able to then contact anyone you might have been in contact with so they can do the same and go through that process?
Yeah, so I mean, I contacted the kind of last people I saw. My friend, actually, the last person I saw was actually ill as well. He had just very milder symptoms, more of a kind of cold and light flu symptoms. I kind of got at the kind of hardcore end of the symptom spectrum, and spoke to everyone I spoke to. I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of my friends have been kind of suffering from kind of weird flu illnesses and not being able to get tested, which is quite frustrating.
Yeah, that is part of the problem for us, particularly in reporting the numbers, different countries using different systems of monitoring this. Do you think that your case then, having run the NHS number, is being counted as part of the overall figures for the United Kingdom?
As far as I'm aware, I think because I haven't been tested officially, I'm not part of those numbers that are being communicated in the media, which is, I think, frustrating because it just means we don't have a grasp of the disease and where it's moving and where the hot spots are, and also the stats. I think we're going to need the stats to help us in figuring out how this virus is kind of moving around and helping us in future scenarios and similar situations in the future. So yeah.